heart of the battle, where the blood of the innocents flows, and only the monstrous survive.
Hello and welcome YouTubers and Doctor Who fanatics to another Big Finish audio review, and today I'll be taking a look finally at the first installment of the War Doctor series, Only the Monstrous. I apologize on the delay of this, even the second box set has come out now, I'm really behind. So if you want to go straight to my review of Only the Monstrous and do you want to see how it's showcased, then there's the time on the bottom of the screen. If you have or haven't skipped, let's begin the video. So for the showcasing of Only the Monstrous, with the front cover we have the fantastic John Hurt himself playing as the War Doctor, a Dalek, another Dalek here being annihilated, with a couple of the Dalek drill machines and a few Dalek ships with explosions in the background, laser fire, a nice fire effect behind the Doctor and the Dalek, with some very nice metal design in the background as well with a Gallifreyan warrior. And with the standard stuff of full cast audio drama, Doctor Who, The War Doctor, Only the Monstrous, starring John Hurt and Jacqueline Pearce, with the Big Finish logo by there in the top right hand corner. For the top we have The War Doctor, Only the Monstrous text, and down below we have the barcode with the running time, which is 240 minutes approx, with bits of copyright information, Big Finish We Love Stories and the BBC logo. For the side of Only the Monstrous, what it looks like on your shelf, we have the Doctor Who logo, the name of the box set, with the brilliant War Doctor by there, and number 1 with the Big Finish We Love Stories logo. And for the back we have the standard stuff by here, the main cast starring in the box set with the bio and the story, and the 3 stories included in the set, and as well bonus behind the scenes interview discs. And here we have the spines of the CDs included in the box set, with the image of the War Doctor, and then the name of the story, and then the numbering. And yeah, I just noticed I got mine the wrong way around, what a complete idiot. So for the individual stories in the set is the Innocent front cover, the Thousand Worlds front cover, and the Heart of Battle front cover. This is what they look like at the back, with the Innocent, the Thousand Worlds, and the Heart of Battle. And it does say there it's 80 minutes approx, but that is a misprint. They are all 60 minutes approx. When we open up the Innocent, we have the cast list by there, and then the disc itself, when we take it out, it advertises the 10th Doctor Adventures. And for the leaflet itself, it has writers and director's notes from Nicholas Briggs. Next we have the innards of the Thousand Worlds with a really nice symbol of the seal of Rassilon. And we take the disc out, it advertises the Diary of River Song Series 1. Then for the leaflet itself, we have cast pictures by here, Doctor Who magazine and the wonderful Jacqueline Pearce. And lastly we have the innards of the Heart of Battle with production credits, 2 discs with the story itself, then the behind the scenes, and advertisements for Infernal Devices, which is already out. And yeah, the review will be out a lot earlier, as my delay for Only the Monstrous is shit, it was just terrible. So inside the leaflet of the Heart of Battle we have a nice image of all the cast members. Quite odd that John Hurt isn't in the picture, but yeah, it's a very nice behind the scenes picture. So that was the showcasing of Only the Monstrous. Now to my review of the first War Doctor set. So now to my review of Only the Monstrous, written by Nicholas Briggs. It might be Dark Eyes 2.0 now, as Dark Eyes 1, written all by Nicholas Briggs, was just absolutely wonderful. One of the best box set releases, and one of the best releases of all time from Big Finish. Nicholas Briggs knows how to nail Daleks. Come on, he's just absolutely fantastic writing Dalek stories. And this should be a work of art, and I should call it Dark Eyes 2.0. Yeah, it's just wonderful to have John Hurt in Big Finish because, of course, he is just absolutely wonderful on audio. Just gotta get Derek Jacobi now as the master, and the War Doctor series is complete. Yeah, we've got 4 box sets. Number 2's already out, Infernal Devices, that came out Monday the 22nd of February. Then we've got Agents of Chaos Volume 3 in September, and then the last installment in 2017 next year. So then, let's begin my review of Only the Monstrous, starting with Innocent.
It's alright. You can tell me. Who are you?
No.
Now, The Innocent is a very interesting story because I didn't expect Nicholas Briggs to go down this direction. It's not really the way you're expecting this box set to start out. You're thinking, oh, you know, explosions, epic scenes, Daleks blowing up. There's still action in this story, but it's very much a character piece. I would say it is an odd way to start out like a series, like a War Doctor series, but to be honest, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't personally go down that direction if I was writing it, but still, it's absolutely amazing because Nicholas Briggs definitely nails a character piece here. The story starts out with Cardinal Elistra, Arvitan and Bennis. And those two are on a mission by Elistra, who is one of the stars of this box set, and I was going to say out the whole series. Jacqueline Pierce has definitely got a voice for audio. Absolutely amazing. She definitely feels very intimidating and devious in this box set. But I'll get to her character in a little bit because she just shines in this box set. Yeah, definitely one of the best female voice actresses because she feels a little bit intimidating saying, "Don't mess this up." She feels like she has a lot of power in her hands and she's just nailed perfectly. Written fantastically, and acting by Jacqueline Pierce is simply superb, perfect. Now the Doctor, even though he doesn't like to be called the Doctor is played wonderful by John Hurt. At the start it feels like he's just reading the script normally, but he feels like he gets into his comfort zone very easily, and when the story progresses on, it feels like he's just nailing it. Yeah, his Doctor is portrayed very different from other incarnations of the Doctor. Yeah, he is pretty grumpy, condescending, especially to Rejoice, who we're getting a little bit in a minute. And he just speaks to everyone around him in a little bit of filth, and again can be pretty condescending to other characters. Yeah, the opening scene with him destroying all the Daleks with a time destructor is really, really good. And the Doctor is having an effect from the time destructor as he's having visions of the Time War, which was really nailed well. Yeah, the two stars of this is definitely John Hurt and Jacqueline Pierce. Go back to Cardinal Elistra. For a voice actress, she has a very powerful voice. And I love this moment when Arvitan and Bennis say the Time War's over and she just shouts, "I know the Daleks." And she says, "No, the Time War's not over." So apparently the Doctor's dead now, and the Time Lords throw this moment for the Doctor that he was one of the saviours of the Time Lord race with him fighting in the Time War. So the Time Lords do really look up to the Doctor. But of course, like the other ones, they're more higher authority. You can see a little bit of corruption in the Time Lord society. But yeah, of course, the Doctor is not dead. He lands on a planet called Keska, which is a very peaceful planet, and this is where we get the introduction of Rejoice. And you can see that he's suffering from the effect of the Time Destructor and having visions of the Time War. Again, the sound design to that is really superior. Works so well. I do find it very funny. This story has a lot of laughs of it. Just hearing John Hurt's dialogue as the Doctor has been so grumpy and condescending. And you say to myself, why can you be so horrible and grumpy and moody talking to someone so caring like Rejoice? And for some reason he's really cautious of Rejoice, and you know, Rejoice is giving the Doctor a drink and he thinks it's poison and that, and then when she asks the Doctor's home planet, he says, "None of your damn business." Every time the Doctor replies to Rejoice, it's always really funny. But yeah, the planet is later, if you can see from the cover, is bombarded with ballistic missiles. Now the Doctor thinks the war has come to this peaceful planet, and it's only luck that the Time War, hasn't reached this planet yet. So the Doctor thinks it's the Daleks, but actually no, it's not. It's a race called the Talians, very similar to the Daleks, as like a genocide race. They wipe out anything inferior. And they're very similar to the Daleks as well, as they wipe out inferior races with complete genocide. And this leaves the story in a very bleak situation because the Keskans are not a fighting race. They have no weapons. So how can they defend themselves from a superior fighting warlike race like the Talians? The Doctor wants to leave the planet, and Rejoice is talking to her father that she doesn't want the Doctor to leave, as Rejoice is very concerned for the Doctor as he's very troubled, he's very confused, he's having these psychological visions from the effect of the Time Destructor. Rejoice was really nailed. She's just such a loving character. The dialogue is very alive and real. A really strong positive about the Innocent. So what about the Daleks? Well, they're not actually connected to the plot at all. They're only really in these flashback visions the Doctor's having, and that's it. We still have like Daleks screaming, battles going on and whatnot, but they're not connected to the plot. The enemies of this is the Talians. I quite like this. It's pretty refreshing because the Daleks are not only going to be the threat, the only threat in the Time War. There's going to be other really powerful warlike races. And the Talians work very well as another threat of the box set. And then the Daleks are featured pretty low in this, and I'll have to say, they're not really connected to the plot. I'll get to that in a little bit later on when I'm discussing about the two other stories. But yeah, the Doctor does change his mood when he does save the planet from the Talians bombarding the planet with ballistic missiles. And at times he does speak to Rejoice in quite a nice way. Still, sometimes his mood and his anger just comes out. When he's speaking to himself like, I am a monster, he sort of goes a little bit mental and insane. But he says, you need monsters to fight monsters, and the Time Lords are monsters, and the Time Lords made the Doctor become a monster. He's used as a puppet to fight off the Daleks, so they're just as bad as each other, and the Doctor's sick of it. He hates being a monster. And it's another line I really liked. When he's speaking about the Time Lords, he says, I can't even see the difference. They're both the same, the Time Lords and the Daleks, bad as each other. Oh, as well, the story says it's 18 minutes approx. That's a misprint. They're not 80 minutes approx, they're around about an hour each. Yeah, Cardinal Elistra knows that the Doctor's alive now, and she is going to take the Doctor back to Gallifrey. But of course, Cardinal Elistra is not going to take Rejoice, even though Rejoice wants to stay with the Doctor. So there's a nice little ending scene which goes into the 1,000 planets, or the 1,000 worlds, sorry. But with the War Doctor being quite, you know, grumpy, he thought that Rejoice was just delusional. But still, you can still see that the Doctor was fond of Rejoice. He just didn't really want to admit it. And yeah, it ends on the cliffhanger with the Time Lords taking the Doctor and using him as a puppet for missions. Overall, The Innocent is an absolutely fantastic Doctor Who story and really does kick off the set absolutely perfect, and I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. A very, very strong 9 out of 10 for The Innocent. Nicholas Briggs did an absolutely fantastic character piece. I was a little bit odd he went down this direction, but he nailed it. So well done, Nicholas Briggs. You start off the set absolutely wonderful. Now to the second story of the set. 1,000
The Italians are the same. They fear and hate everything. They destroy civilization wherever they find it.
So now to my review of the 1,000 Worlds. Now, when I first looked at this set, I had a feeling that this was going to be the weakest, and a lot of people do look at like trilogies and this box set as well. But the middle one, it's not really going to be the best, it's rather overlooked, and it's only really used as a builder episode for the final story. And yeah, that happens quite a lot, that does. The middle one does get overlooked at times. Yeah, in the pre-title sequence, it has Rejoice very upset that the Doctor left, as Rejoice was very concerned, worried about the Doctor because he was so troubled and confused and having bad effects on the Time Destructor. Yeah, she was a wonderful character, absolutely wonderful. There's a little bit more on Rejoice, but I'm not going to cover that because I want you to experience it yourself when you listen to the box set. But yeah, she was a really good character. She thinks the Doctor is a good person, but still knows that this Doctor has darkness in him from the corruption of the Time Lords, and he is sick of being their war puppet fighting the Daleks. Story goes with Cardinal Elistra using the Doctor, forcing him into these missions, which do sound very suicidal, and Cardinal Elistra and another character who I forgot to mention, which is Veclin. She's very militaristic in the first story, The Innocent. Don't get too much on her just yet, but this is her. She gets quite a lot to do in this one. Yeah, she's a very militaristic sort of character. Still feels a little bit of fear from Jacqueline Pearce's character, Cardinal Elistra. She's a pretty intimidating character. But yeah, Cardinal Elistra is talking to the Doctor of how he survived the Time Destructor. And yeah, there was a mission briefing to track down a Time Lord known as Ceretix, who was lost in an area behind Dalek enemy lines. So their mission is to track down Ceretix at the last possible location his TARDIS signal was captured. And this is probably one of the most funniest scenes of the entire box set. The Doctor just refuses, breaks the time lock, which the Time Lords did, and he escapes. So Veclin is pursuing the Doctor to try and capture him, and the Doctor does a really funny line here. He says, "I've got an Earth expression for you. Bog off." It's pretty damn funny, one of my favourite lines out of the entire set. Yeah, again, we have the Talians back in action. They're really good, and the Daleks as well. They have both teamed up to make this Dalek master plan happen. The Talians have great numbers, so the Daleks are really using them for cannon fodder as a secondary group, such as the Ogrons. But yeah, the Doctor stopped the Talians from a force field with Casca, because this planet on the 1,000 Worlds is the planet Casca. It used to be a nice, beautiful, peaceful planet, and now it's turned into a very bleak, industrial, horrible planet. With the Talians not being that technological, they have ballistic weaponry, but that won't destroy a force field. It's actually the Daleks which stopped it, and now they're both working together. They both had the same intentions of bringing genocide to inferior races, so they team up. Yeah, the Doctor lands in the null zone, does realise it is the planet Casca, which is being taken over by the Daleks and the Talians. And we hear from one of the characters, one of the slaves, that the Daleks and the Talians have conquered 1,000 worlds, all of them industrial, bleak planets, building these huge drill machines for the ultimate assault of Gallifrey. This feels like a 1960s Dalek story to me, maybe a bit like the Dark Invasion of Earth. So if you like the Dark Invasion of Earth, then I'm expecting this one to be your favourite. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of it, I still love it because I have a feel of 60s Dalek stories. And the 60s is my favourite era of Doctor Who. I absolutely adore the 60s. So I think this is why I like this story a lot. This one isn't loved by many. I've seen some people rate it 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. I think it's a lot more than that. I think it's a very good episode. And again, as I said, the second part within a box set or a trilogy, it does get overlooked quite a bit. It's really nice to have a 60s vibe with this. I got a nice bit of nostalgia. Yeah, the Daleks come across as very scary and nothing you do not want to annoy. If you even mess about and do not follow their orders, they're just going to shoot you dead. They just keep saying, oh, you will be exterminated, or you will be exterminated. If you literally do something wrong, they will gun you down. They do not mess about now. Yeah, Veclin, Bennis and Arvitan are on the planet Casca now. They're analysing the enemy lines and they notice that there are Daleks on there, there's Talians and Cascans. And of course they're on the hunt for Ceratics and the Doctor as well. Yeah, Veclin, as I said, is very military minded. Whereas the other two, with Veclin, aren't that militaristic. Even though they're assigned to missions, they don't really feel very militaristic like Veclin. And yeah, there's quite a nice reveal in this story. I think it's pretty obvious. If you can guess it, then you're probably right, but I don't want to reveal it. Oh yeah, it's got some really nice action in this story as well. Some nice epic moments of Bennis, Arvitan and Veclin gunning down, shooting Talians and Daleks. And yeah, some of the characters in this do die. And Bennis seems to be rather unfocused sometimes, a little bit baffled in some places. He's not really focusing a lot. And Veclin gets really annoyed by this. And we also have the appearance of a Prime Dalek. And that's the Dalek which is running this operation of all the 1,000 worlds, which are developing and assembling these huge drill machines. Again, that's probably why you had the vibe from Dalek Invasion of Earth. This is a very 1960s Dalek sort of plot. And yes, Ceratics. He's a very interesting character, I do like him. Yeah, he's interesting in the heart of battle, which I'll get into in a minute. At times the story had pacing problems, it was going up and down a little bit. But mostly this story was very suspenseful, good tension, great epic scenes. And it was, when I first listened to this set, this was my favourite. But now it's not my favourite. I still absolutely love it, and I'll give it a 9 out of 10. So is The Innocent my favourite? Or is it The Heart of Battle? So let's review The Heart of Battle.
The Daleks! They'll never give up. The only way to defeat them will be to wipe every single one of them from the face of the
So we have The Heart of Battle, the final story in the set. Now, the 1,000 Worlds did build up to this story very good. It did its purpose very well. So this story was in a very good position. But I was a little bit worried because Big Finish do sometimes have the tendency of not doing the final story very well. Like Dark Ice 3 didn't go down very well, Doom Coalition suffered a bit, Triumph of Sutek. It happens quite a lot with Big Finish and they can't seem to correct that. But I'm not saying that they do that all the time. Sometimes they absolutely nail the final story. Dark Ice 2, Eyes of the Master, absolutely wonderful. Even I thought Dark Ice 4 ending was alright and pretty good. But yeah, at times, I think it really depends on the writer maybe. But yeah, sometimes the ending story doesn't reach satisfaction. Now, The Heart of Battle wasn't really what I expected it to go to. It's called The Heart of Battle, so we're going to go right into the heart of the battle. It's going to be the most action-packed, the most epic, guns going off, explosions, Daleks screaming, Time Lords screaming, so much death and destruction. But like the first half of it, or like the first 3 quarters, was quite a lot of it. It was all dialogue. So we weren't literally going into a huge battle, which I was expecting. It starts out with conflict, with dialogue. So yeah, there's a lot of conflict with the dialogue at the start, by a halfway or something like that, which is pretty good. Not what I'm expecting, but it was good. When it gets to the action, all it is Daleks blowing up. I didn't really feel like any of the Time Lords were dying. It was mostly all the Daleks getting absolutely demolished. And I will bring this up. As I said, the Daleks don't really feel like they're like the main thing of this box set. So I think that feels quite refreshing. But they're not very connected to any sort of plot. Like for example, Dark Eyes 1 and Dark Eyes 4, they feel very connected to the plot. But here, they feel like they're like underneath it. They don't really feel that connected from it. So that's why they're not really the centre stage of this box set for me. I would say as Cardinal Illustra. She feels like the main character of the box set. So I think that is very refreshing. Because the Time War is not all about the Daleks. It's about other races fighting. It's about the Time Lords, big authority, corruption. And Cardinal Illustra definitely is a multi-dimensional character. She has like multiple sides of her character. She like is sort of happy that the Doctor is on the Time Lord's side. There's other sides of her character. She's a really well done character. Yeah, this box set is just amazing for newcomers to Big Finish because it's nothing too complicated. It is very easy to listen to. At the end, it went a little bit over my head. I was a little bit lost. I did feel like the ending was like a slightly bit rushed. So I thought, you know, don't judge it. Give it a second go, see if it works for me. Second go, I did understand it a little bit more. I don't know why I found the ending a little bit over my head. Not sure why. Maybe I just faded out of it. But the ending is good. It could have been handled a bit better. But still, it's good. So, I rate The Heart of Battle an 8 out of 10. It actually does a satisfying end for the box set. It is my least favourite, but still, that's no mean a bad story. You always have a least favourite and a favourite. But I still adore the story. It's really good. So, for the characters, I'm only really going to go for the main ones which really stuck out to me. I won't go for absolutely all of them, like the background characters. This is just the ones which really stick out the box set and made the box set feel great. Yeah, The Doctor by John Hurt is just wonderful. At the start, it feels like you're just reading the script normally, but now, when the box set went forward, he really gave it his all. His Doctor was funny at times, even though he was being condescending. I found his replies to Rejoice really funny. In Innocent, he was fantastic. 1,000 Worlds, again, he was great, and in The Heart of Battle, yet even more brilliant development for this brilliant Doctor. As he says, we need monsters to fight monsters. Even though he's sick of being a monster, that's the only way that the Time Lords are going to beat the Daleks, to become just like them. Yeah, the Doctor is wonderful. John Hurt does a fantastic performance, and he's a lot better in this box set than Day of the Doctor. Definitely gets the right material here. Next up is Rejoice, just wonderful in the first story, The Innocent. The character moments and interactions were very powerful. She is such a caring, kind and loving character. Feels very concerned for the Doctor being very troubled and suffering from the effects of the Time Destructor. Nice moment in the pre-title sequence of 1,000 Worlds. She gets a little bit more to do, but I'm not going to cover that. Cardinal Illustra, who I would say is my favourite character in the box set. She just wowed me. She was that good. She is one of the best voice actresses of all time. She feels quite intimidating. She has a powerful voice. You can feel that her voice has power. She is very well written, and her character is very multi-dimensional. No one can do that character better than Jacqueline Pierce, so well done to her. Solid stuff from Jacqueline Pierce. Ceretix, who is an interesting character to start with the 1,000 Worlds, and in the end of The Heart of Battle, saying to the Doctor that you can claim back your name. So some really nice stuff in The Heart of Battle, a good character, quite interesting. Bennett and Arvitan, who were these two Time Lords on the mission with Veclin, yeah, they were pretty good. Bennett seems a little bit like inactive in some scenes, and Arvitan, nothing too much. They weren't really militaristic, even though they were doing missions. Yeah, Veclin's definitely more of the militaristic type. And then the Daleks, Nicholas Briggs voiced them brilliantly, but they didn't feel like they were the centre stage. And I think that's very refreshing and a good move. As the Daleks, they don't feel like they're overshadowing anything. As it feels like the Talians having a good portion of the story. Cardinal Illustra's having an amazing part of the story. It's really balanced out very well, so I think it's very refreshing. Where the Daleks are not in your face. So now to the conclusion of the video. What did I think of the first installment of the War Doctor series, Only the Monstrous. Well, I think it is a very strong Big Finish release. It was one of the best box sets which came out in 2015. It's an amazing release. It's definitely going to be great for newcomers to Big Finish. Definitely have your eyes on this because it's definitely worth it. £20 for this is just wonderful. And with Infernal Devices out, I am so pumped to get it. And another thing I like about this box set, it's self-contained. There's nothing overarching. So I like it, but this box set isn't doing anything wacky, over the top so far. It's something just self-contained. And I like it that Nicholas Briggs kept this one. It's going to be like a sort of a standalone one. Even though I haven't listened to Infernal Devices or I haven't seen any reviews, I think that one will start off some overarching things. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to experience Infernal Devices. So far, the War Doctor series is looking better than Doom Coalition. Doom Coalition started out fantastic, but then it dipped down. But it looks like the War Doctor series is more on my mind. I am more excited for more War Doctor releases than Doom Coalition, but Doom Coalition 2 may pick it up. So for the ratings, I'll do a complete total rating where I add all the ratings of the 3 stories. So out of 30 we have two 9 out of 10s and an 8 out of 10, which equals 26 out of a possible 30, and my overall rating is a 9 out of 10. I do see a lot of 8 out of 10s for this one, but I think I will go that extra mile and give it a 9 out of 10. Definitely recommended you pick this box set up. Go on the Big Finish website, you get it immediately as a download, and £20 for this is an absolute bargain. So that was my review of the War Doctor series. I'm so happy I finally reviewed it. Yeah, Infernal Devices will be out a lot more earlier. It's just January and February was just mad for me. I just didn't have time to write a review up for this. But yeah, those things happen. I'm going to say it for the final time. If you haven't got it, pick it up. It's definitely worth it. So thank you very much for watching this review of Only the Monstrous, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.